10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Rising Coaches Member Spotlight. Today's episode is brought to you by Dr. Dish, the best shooting machine and training equipment in the world. Visit our friends at Dr. Dish B-Ball on social media or drdish.com. Let them know that Rising Coaches sent you for $300 off your next purchase. It's the off season. The time is now. Get yourself a new shooting machine. Upgrade your equipment. COVID's over. Budget's getting back to normal. It's time. It's time to upgrade. So hit up our friends at Dr. Dish again, drdish.com or at Dr. Dish B-Ball, and let them know that Rising Coaches sent you. Okay, excited for our guest today, performance coach, founder of Healthy Leader, Jay Fry. Jay, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man, I am doing amazing. It's a beautiful Wednesday. I don't even know what time it is, but I'm ready to rock.
I love it. I love it. Well, Jason, let's start with this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, some of your background, and how you got into, basketball, pure sweat, and kind of into what you're doing now.
Yeah. I've been coaching. I went to school. I was a couple of years late, off the standard of graduation and then going into college. So I was a couple of years late, and then finished school up in 2008 and then started coaching immediately from a basketball coaching standpoint. I took on duties as strength coach a couple of years beforehand to pay bills while I was in college. And so kind of did that strength conditioning wise and then skill development wise. My first client for most of us who are old enough, it was Luke Axtell. So I used to rebound for Luke Axtell, who was a sharpshooter from the University of Texas and then transferred over to KU. So he was the first one. And I was like, dude, I must be really good at this job because all I do is just catch from underneath the rim and then throw it back to him. Like that was all it was. So that kind of kick-started it all. And then, after college, we started doing some training while I was coaching at a little high school here in St. Louis called Whitfield. And, ever since then, been training nonstop, working with athletes. So that's kind of how it all kick-started and how it's going to keep going.
I love it. So born and raised in St. Louis?
No, born and raised Austin, Texas, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I graduated high school in 2001 and then, worked full time, worked at a rec center and ran the after school program. And then, tried different universities to walk onto and try out for. And it was always between me and the big guy. So, back in 2000, you guys already know which one we're selecting. You're not taking the shooter, you're taking the big guy. Nowadays, I would probably be okay by being the shooter. You're going to take the shooter over the big guy nowadays. So, kickstarted in Austin, and then 2004 I came up here, so been here ever since.
Awesome. Okay, and at what point did you start getting involved with Pure Sweat, and what all did you do for them?
Oh man, what a great story Pure Sweat has been. Last night we got a chance to really see that. It's pretty cool to see Jason and Brad go against each other, and so it's phenomenal. So being there, I was the first one hired with Pure Sweat. So it was Drew and I to really kickstart things off before Rich came along, and then before we had all of our amazing skills coaches. So
were you and Drew Drew's a St. Louis guy? Were you guys just both training in St. Louis, and that's how you guys got to know each other?
Yeah, he was training in St. Louis, and I was working with a couple guys that were trying to play a pro ball overseas. And the crazy thing is like just how it all happened was that I put in a reminder in to always watch Drew's games because I actually I was helping with some of the strength coach for his high school program for Coach Blossom in the Webster Groves. So like I set my timers for my alarms for ESPN alerts when Belmont was playing. And so being that it was the first year of coaching for me, I was like, dude, I know what I'm doing from a coaching standpoint. And so I would text Drew and just send him a message and be like, hey man, I saw the game. Like I'd be at a bar drinking and then my alarm would go off and I'd be like, all right guys, I got to go. And so I'd go watch the game and then I would shoot Drew a text that, hey, you really threaded the needle on a couple of these. You made some great decisions, blah, blah, blah. That was it. I never did anything out of intentionality. I just sent him a text. So every game I would do that, every game that I could watch. And then, like every now and then I'd hear that he did a clinic and say, hey, I heard you did a clinic, and text him. And so I kind of just stayed relevant for a couple of years. And then he was like, I need somebody to help me. Would you be willing to do it? And I was in the mix. Do I move to Kentucky and take this job, or do I stay here and do this? So it was a big jump. And I said, okay, but you got to make sure that I'm going to be busy enough if I'm going to leave my strength and conditioning job as well as coaching. He said, I think you'll be busy enough. And boom, I was definitely plenty busy.
So what was Pure Sweat like in the early days? You're employee number one, right? So
Yeah.
tell us how it, grew into what it is now.
Oh my goodness. The early days was Drew talking to NBA management at a big glass table that we're in at his place, at his condo. And it's him and I'm just typing away while he's having conversations with people like the Kings and stuff like that, and talking about certain players. And I'm just typing away, trying to get all of our stuff into a computer system, into Excel spreadsheets, or into something so that we can get the apps going, so that we can get all this stuff going out for the masses. So like I'd sit there, and he's probably still has the rug that's got my coffee stain on there from when I spilled my coffee. And I mean, it was legitimately just us in the condo, him slaving away on the phone and me slaving away on the computer.
That's awesome. And did you guys, like even those days, have visions of what it would become? Or
yeah, we talked a lot about that, of where we wanted it to go. And it's one of those things that you always think that which way you're going to go, and then there's going to be a pivot, and then a pivot, and then another pivot. Like some of our coaches here, on Rising Coaches, that they're here at a place, but then this chance, because of how hard they worked and what they put in, opens up, and so now it makes a little curve, and that's kind of how Pure Sweat was. We had this envision, but then we could make it bigger, we could make it better, we could make it so that more people get to have that impact of receiving what we had to give.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And now you've pivoted and you've started Healthy Leader, which we just got a sneak peek of that within our community. You did Healthy Coach. Tell us about like the decision to start this up, and what's your vision for Healthy Leader?
Oh, goodness gracious. To be honest, the reason for starting it was me. It was a selfish reason. I wanted to be a better dad. I've got a 14-year-old. Anybody who's got a teenager knows the stuff that's going on for these 14-year-olds, like these teenagers. I mean, the crazy stuff that's going on in here, and I want to be a better dad. And I know that if I'm a better dad, I can be a better husband. And I know that if I'm a better husband, I can be a better leader to other people, and I can serve just a little bit better. I can coach better. I can, like, all these things end up transferring and just working together, so that based on just me wanting to be a better dad. And so I ended up doing this on my own and going through it. And then this is something that could really benefit a lot of people. And regardless of where you're at from a health standpoint, regardless of where you're at from a occupational standpoint, it works if you stay true to it. So I was like, this is something that could have changed some lives. And it's something that we kickstarted off, and, Rising Coaches jumped on, and we got the Healthy Coach rolling, and got that great taste. And we're seeing some really great benefits from these people. And, like in a time where you've got mental issues and you've got anxiety and you've got depression, and, this really touches a big part of that, and it can help relieve some of that, should we let it and should we work for it.
Yeah, and what I like about it is how you simplify it. Seems like you focus on four categories, right? And I don't want to speak for you. Break down like the four things that you guys really try to tackle daily.
You wake up. Number one, I always wake up, and I battled vertigo for 2 years, to the point where I struggled like standing up. And so, for me, I wake up every morning. Thanks God for giving me this gift of not having the vertigo. And so then I immediately I go to walk downstairs in the basement where I'm at right now, and I go and do my breath work. Okay. So breath work is the first thing. And so we go in through, and so what we do throughout the 90 days of the Healthy Leader is each week we give you a different style of breath work to work on, Because if we can get the insides working the way that it is, then we can perform better. We can legitimately be more explosive. We can handle stress better. We can handle all these different things better just by being able to master the breath work. So we give you different ones that you can try so that there might be one that you like a little bit better. Our rising coaches got 4 different ones, so that was really cool. And then we go immediately from breath work, we go into fitness. Now, we recognize that we want to meet you where you are. So some guys just aren't really in the shape to be doing a lot. And heck, even I had one guy tell me, dude, the breath work got me out of shape. It got me tired, just the breath work. And so I said, hey, man, that's okay. We recognize where we're at. So now we know where we want to go. So then we started off with just fitness. So just something as simple as 7 minutes. And so we provide our members with a 7-minute workout or some exercises or some thought processes of what we could do from an exercise standpoint. And then you go and attack 7 minutes right there after your breath work. A lot of reading and research has gone into this whole program. And so we also found that, your best chance of retaining information comes following workouts. So the third piece is reading. And it's not that junk reading. It's not Us Weekly, but it's something that really improves you. I've got tons of books back there that improve my thought process or improve my creativity or improve how I can be a better leader. So it's important to get something that works those channels, that helps improve you. And then the fourth and final piece is the reflection, which is so crucial. And I'll give you 2 main pieces within this reflection. From the first standpoint, it helps you become personally more aware of decision making. It helps you become more aware of what's working and what's not just by simply writing it down. You could even just go, hey, I'm really grateful for this, this, and this. Adding that gratitude piece goes a really long way. The second piece of this reflection is that you share it with the community. And so now we've got 36 guys, 36 girls, sorry, we're mixed, but we have 36 coaches or leaders that all reflect one thing that they got from their reading. So if you have that, you're legitimately leveling up 36 times because you're now learning 36 different books, 36 different key points. So now you can go, I like that guy. I like what that girl's reading. I want to learn more about that person. And now we create this community that won't let you down, that holds you accountable, and that continually levels up your game.
I love it. And what's so great about it is, for me, it's 7 minutes, which is manageable, right? Like I can do anything for 7 minutes. It's not this big, okay, we're going to run 5 miles today. And then the next day we're going to, it's not intimidating. You make it very manageable and doable. 4 things, 7 minutes each. I mean, that's 30 minutes out of your day. But what you find going through it is, you want to exercise more than set. Once you start, you want to keep going because these things make you feel good, and it turns into a lot more. So it's a very cool project. I love what you guys are doing. I'm very appreciative to have you give us the sneak peek with Healthy Coach.
Yeah.
Last month with Rising Coaches.
Oh man, it was a blast. Some of those guys, like they're constantly giving their reflection, and it was so cool to see people go, man, I started this and there was no way I could believe that I could do 26 straight push-ups, and yet 26 straight push-ups occur. So, that the TMB series of adding just 1 every single day. And if you had sit-ups or something like that, maybe you would add 2 or 3 just because of the ease of that. But push-ups, that's really difficult for a lot of people. So it was really cool to see some of the guys really excited about, what was occurring within them, their bodies and their minds. So really awesome.
Yeah, good for you. Where can people find out more information about this if they want to take part in it?
Yeah, it's Coach J Fry. So CoachJFry.com. And then you can just click on the 90-day Healthy Leader. If you want more information on the Healthy Leader outside of what that page gives you, then you just click the next button over, 2 buttons over that say Healthy Leader. So it gives it a whole lot more in depth of the reasoning behind what we wanted to do there.
I love it. Jay, what's next for you, man? What do you see on the horizon?
We're really excited. We're actually going to offer the Healthy Athlete. We're going to offer the Healthy Educator. because we're super passionate about being able to help serve. And if our teachers are not inspired, if they're not energized, same thing with our coaches. If the inspiration is not there for them, they can't help serve the kids. And if we're focused on the kids, then we've got to be focused even more so on who's teaching, mentoring, inspiring, and coaching the kids. So we're really excited about that, and just trying to give workouts, trying to give help serve the athletes of the coaches and the teachers as well. So however we can help serve and improve the leadership, because, I mean, we tie in a ton of stuff within the Healthy Leader, where they can learn not just those 4 things, but they can learn leadership and emotional intelligence. They can learn nutrition. What are some things that I could fuel my body with? So we go through a ton of different stuff in there, and certainly fortunate to be able to give that to everybody should they choose to be a part of it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Not enough resources out there like that for coaches, and not enough attention paid to it. So kudos to you for providing such a great resource.
Thank you.
Jay, appreciate you being on here, man. And appreciate you providing so much value to rising coaches. It's really been cool to watch.
Absolutely, man. I love what Rising Coaches is doing. As a former assistant, I coached at Drury at the GLVC. I know what it's like to be that college coach, and man, it's a thankless job for a lot of people. There's a lot of energy and effort that goes into it, and I love the fact of what Rising Coaches is doing to help serve that community. And so I love being a part of that as well.
Well, I appreciate it, Jay. Best of luck, man. Everybody go check out CoachJFry.com and sign up to be a part of Healthy Leader. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.